I'm so excited to announce that I am partaking in the second ever Elestrals Championship League. This time around, we've got more casters involved. Each of us get 2 elements instead of 1, and I'm super excited for some amazing games and content coming out of this. For those of you who weren't around for the Elestrals Championship League back in May, the first one, it is an idea from Elyouseekay, aka Luck. Pretty much, he got 4 additional content creators from the Elestral community together to play against, I should back up a second, to each get 1 of the 5 elements and face off against each other across 4 weeks, and then have the 2 players with the best records face off for first and second, and then same thing for third and fourth. And for context, I did come in 4th. Not the most happy with that performance, but hey, it is what it is, so I'm looking to hopefully do a bit better this time around. As I mentioned in the intro, this time it's slightly different. We brought on more casters. The original goal was to get on 10 casters. That way, when we do 2 of each element, that means that 4 players will have each of the elements, and 10 just made that number really nice. Though unfortunately, one of the casters had to back out last minute, but there's a silver lining to this, as much as we wish that they could partake. I'll get to that silver lining in a bit. As for who is taking part, returning from the first ECL, we've got myself and of course Luck, as well as Elestralization, aka Red Baron, and Wirtz. As for the new faces to this, we've got Ancient Caster, Everything Elestrals, aka Moxie, Melodic Owl Build, aka Alex, Nexus Elestrals, aka Mula, as well as Cerebro. I think a great slew of new faces and old faces, just bundling up for hopefully a great experience. In this video, I don't feel like spending the time explaining how these elements were chosen, but you can find out and see the whole process over on Elyouseekay's channel. I don't know if his video will be up at the time that I post mine, but what I do know is Cerebro's got it out on his channel, so definitely go check all the channel links down in the description below to see everyone's announcement, and also just to kind of catch what the actual selection process was. But as I said, everyone did end up with 2 elements. You could have gotten monotype, that was possible, but that didn't happen. Also, really awesomely, no one got it's the same elemental pairing. Everyone has something unique, which I think will lead to everyone having a different perspective and every game being way more interesting and dynamic. I mean, mirror matches can be also very interesting, but I think for this case, just having everyone on something different does elevate the content for this. As for that silver lining I mentioned earlier, the one elemental pairing that did not show up at all is Thunder Wind. We don't have to deal with the boogeyman of this format, though to be fair, Thunder is still super solid and is really scary for the 3 casters that have access to it. I've held off long enough revealing my elemental pairing. I'll be repping water. You can see the Leviathan over there. Very appropriate for me, but also fire. Coincidentally, wearing the red shirt today. And this feels like a really good pairing with me, especially since I made that Krakatuka deck profile a month or 2 ago. So clearly, I've definitely labbed with that. And the obvious choice with fire water is, of course, Krakatuka. I heard it had some great representation in the webcam tournament last weekend. I don't know how last weekend, literally yesterday at the time you're recording this. I don't know what its conversion rate was, but I do think that is a super solid option that I have access to. But I also think I have a lot more interesting stuff to mess around with, especially in this limited format. One of the first things I noticed was I've got a really solid 5 guys core, or selection of Elestrals from that 5 guys core, that being Nekruff, Smoltuga, and Galaxy. While I don't think they're the strongest individual 5 guys cards, I do think they're the most synergistic of the bunch, since Smoltuga can search out Nekruff, then Galaxy can switch Smoltugas to 5 attack, and I just have some really solid beaters. I also have access to Trident Lock, which will be very interesting this time around, because of course shutting down counter runes is so powerful, but considering that 4 or 3 additional casters do have access to water, if one of us ever throws down a Poseidon, both players are just a Trident away from Trident locking the other. And that's an interesting and kind of scary dynamic. But also 4 casters have access to Earthquake, meaning that they've got an easy button to just kind of take care of whatever the Trident is equipped to. Now, all of us have access to Resting on Your Laurels, but there are also ways to play around that card, especially in a wide board if I try to go that way. So I'm not as worried about that one, but the fact that any deck that has access to Earth can just run Earthquake plus Laurels, that's a bit scary as well. I also have access to Tsunami, which 5 casters don't. That's 5 casters that I can effectively use that card against. 3 that might be questionable if they lean more into water. Of course, Tsunami won't be useful, it'll be a dead card, but with all of us having 2 elements, that means that Tsunami is theoretically live against all of us, including me if I lean more into fire. So it definitely will be a judgment call in those matchups whether to use Tsunami, but honestly just having access to 3 additional counter runes, which anyone who doesn't have water does not have access to, feels really strong into a sealed format. I mean, counter runes are really strong in just general constructed, and in a sealed format, they're even more impactful. Well, arguably at least. As for what you can expect content-wise, all of us will be facing off against each other, so that'll be at least 8 weeks, might be 9 weeks. No, it'd be 8 weeks, with one of us having the bye each week. This won't start up until not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, December 2nd, and that's just because it is Thanksgiving on Thursday here in America, so a lot of us are American-based and just don't have the flexibility and open schedule to be able to crank out a video for the game in that time frame. So you can mark that on your calendars and look forward to that. But for me specifically, I'll also be uploading a deck profile before then. Last time I uploaded on Friday. We'll see if that works out again. But at the bare minimum, you can expect a deck profile and a gameplay video on, well, a deck profile sometime before Saturday and a gameplay video that Saturday. And once I decide on a date, I'll more than likely stick with it. After those 8 weeks are up, we'll be doing the same thing as last time, where the people with the 2 best records go against each other for first and second, and we'll probably do the same thing for third and fourth. So if you're excited for the Elestrals Championship League 2, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're notified when I do upload that content, as well as checking out everyone else that's involved. Links down in the description below. We're all super excited. I think it'll be a great time. I hope you all are excited as well. And yeah, I better start labbing. Next week I'm facing off against Mula, aka Nexus Elestrals, and him and I have actually been playing a bit. I'm super excited for this game. I know he is as well, so yeah, look forward to that. I'm going to go lab a deck and get a deck profile ready, so look forward to more content coming out real soon.